Now moving on to question 18. Several artworks found among the ruins of the ancient Roman city of Pompeii depict a female figure fishing with a cupid nearby. Some scholars have asserted that the figure is the goddess Venus, since she is known to have been linked with cupids in Roman culture. But University of Leicester archaeologist Carla Brain suggests that cupids may have also been associated with fishing generally. The fact that a cupid is shown near the female figure therefore blank. Which choice most logically completes the text? A. Is not conclusive evidence that the figure is Venus. B. Suggests that Venus was often depicted fishing. C. Eliminates the possibility that the figure is Venus. Or D. Would be difficult to account for if the figure is not Venus. So all we know from this paragraph, without knowing anything else about, let's say we don't know anything about Venus or we don't know anything about cupids, we just see that in this paragraph what is mentioned is that several artworks found among the ruins of ancient Roman city of Pompeii, it just depicts a female figure fishing with a cupid nearby. But we don't know whether that female figure is Venus or not. So some scholars have asserted that the figure is goddess Venus, since she is known to have been linked with cupids. Because this figure is seen near Cupid, they think that it is Venus. Okay. But University of Leicester archaeologist Carla Brain suggests that cupids may have also been associated with fishing generally. So not only cupids are with Venus, goddess Venus, but cupids also with fishing we can associate, she says. So what does it mean? What does it mean now? If a cupid is shown near the female figure, what could it mean? So if you said A, that is correct, because it's not a conclusive evidence that the figure is Venus. This is the best answer because it presents the conclusion that most logically completes the text discussion about the significance of the cupid found at Pompeii. So we don't know whether that is Venus or not, just based on what we are reading in this particular case, this paragraph, this short paragraph. Significance of cupid found at Pompeii. The text indicates that Cupid is near a statue of a female figure who is fishing, and it goes on to indicate that because Venus is associated with Cupid, some scholars believe the female figure to be goddess Venus. But then the text says that according to archaeologist Carla Brain, cupids may have also been associated with the activity of fishing, which if true would suggest that the mere appearance of Cupid near the female figure engaged in fishing does not indicate with certainty that the figure is Venus. So with just this much information, we cannot say that the female figure next to Cupid is, Venus or not. And what about B? B suggests that Venus was often depicted fishing. This is incorrect because with just reading this much text, the text doesn't say anything about how Venus was depicted fishing. We don't know whether Venus was fishing or not. It only implies that in certain instances a female figure may or may not be Venus. Okay, then C eliminates the possibility that the figure is Venus. We can neither say it was Venus nor we cannot say that it was not Venus. Okay, so because Carla Brain's proposed explanation for the presence of cupids make no reference to the female figure. All she says is that Cupid is related to fishing also. But she is not saying that it was not Venus. The female figure, all she is saying that Cupid is related to fishing also. And so the possibility that the figure in the artworks is in fact Venus cannot be definitely eliminated. So based on what she said, we cannot eliminate that it is Venus or not. And D would be difficult to account for if the figure is not Venus. D is again incorrect because there is nothing in the text to suggest that the only reasonable way to interpret the figure is as Venus. Okay. So this is just about it's not a conclusive evidence. By just reading this much, we cannot come to any conclusion about the female figure.